All right, the markets are back. The airdrop alpha doesn't sleep. We have new, fresh airdrop claims, new information regarding new chains, and amazing updates from current projects. Of course, alongside some super quick information for AI agents, because of course, that is the sector that is most explosive. It has bounced back the hardest and will probably continue outperforming the rest of the markets. So we'll go through that as well really quickly at the beginning and the end of the video. Let's get started. And if you still believe that we are in a bull market, which is very obvious, then you definitely want to be positioned in the most reflexive assets that are most reflexive to current market conditions. And by far, it is definitely AI agents. They have dipped all the way down to 12 billion just yesterday or 2 days ago, back to almost all-time high for the market cap of almost 17 billion, which is probably still super early considering that we are expecting this market cap to rise to between 150 billion all the way to maybe 500 billion before the end of this cycle. Now, if you want to just take a look at quick numbers and metrics of the top mindshare projects currently, of course, AXBT is still leading the pack with more than double of the next in line, such as Farcoin, AI16Z, and Virtuals. But most importantly, people were experiencing some crazy dips, some super scares in the crypto markets. And as you can see on the weekly, these dips are basically non-existent. The only thing that's still in a bit of a FUD is AI16Z, but there was a lot of nonsense going on X with LLM and Shaw just doing Shaw things, giving us better entries for AI16Z. But again, this is not supposed to be an AI video. This is going to just go really quickly on everything happening in the current markets. And of course, Cookie listed on Binance had a bit of a uprise dip, eaten up like it was nothing, and breaking new all-time highs probably very, very soon. And of course, AXBT, the top KOL on X machine, proper machine for alpha, it has broken another all-time high. We were thinking it was overvalued at $500 million. Well, here it is, breaking almost 800 million in market cap. Like it's nothing. It's actually crazy. And the reason why we keep talking about these things is because you don't really need to be a genius to realize these things, that it is spewing out alpha like nothing else on this planet Earth. Of course, there's probably some politics behind the scenes. Of course, that holders of AXBT can probably slightly influence what goes behind the scenes because we are still not in completely autonomous territory. Still, there's a little bit of, probably, politics behind the scenes. But all things aside, it is still the top dog for actually giving you actionable insights for everything going on chain. Not just for agents, not just for AI, but also for everything. If you're in crypto, it is a huge, huge, basically handcuffing yourself for not following these things that it is just delivering, And that you have also Trisigma, which adds on-chain data for the social metrics, but that's another topic. And finally, if you're just, if you want some exposure to AI agents and you just don't want to have them sitting in your wallet, for the Solana agents, there's literally no better thing that you can do than have them in some Meteora pools that make sense to you. For example, I used to pair this with Solana, but Solana moves much slower than these agents. So if you want to make just absurd gains, okay, I was not compounding this yesterday. Usually I compound everything manually for max yield, max everything. These are the fees for the last 48 hours for safe-ish pairs and slightly less safe pairs, but it is crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy. They go down together and they go up together. So you retain exposure and you generate amazing yield. What is this, like 25% or 30%? It's ridiculous. And you get to farm Meteora airdrop. So we've talked about this a lot and we will keep talking about it until Meteora drops a token because it's absolutely crazy. You can get exposure to best narrative and maybe one of the best airdrops of 2025 on Solana. All right, let's move into all the airdrop claims and announcements. First of all, we have Azuki finally dropping a token as we expected. It was the last big NFT collection without a token. It was probably kind of pressured by Penguin and all the other collections like Magic Kid and everything that already dropped a token. They are also giving us Anime, which is going to be Azuki token dropping in January 2025. You can see all the details in the Twitter post, but most importantly, there's also a small allocation for both Hyperliquid stakers as well as Kaito Yappers. So you can see the whole Anime specific tokenomics in this post right here. We will drop it in the link or the description of the video. So all the links are everything in the first link of the description of every video. Then another airdrop claim we have is also from Derive. This was formerly Lyra. This was the premier options and derivatives trading platform on Optimism. And now it is also integrated on many other chains. But most importantly, we have some news regarding Infinex as well. But for now, if you've been trading with Lyra or Derive. If you have maybe staked INA tokens, you might be eligible for this airdrop. So make sure to check your allocations as soon as possible. And why as soon as possible? Because as you know, Infinex is very, very famous for rewarding early activity and active participation. If you have, for example, opened Infinex crates among the first 24 hours, if you have made early swaps on the platform before July this year, you would have received 500 Pyth and 500 INA tokens. So if you are reading this, if you're maybe still in time to play around with Infinex, I would highly recommend that you test out this new functionality on the platform as soon as possible, because there might be some amazing rewards for you coming down the line. And if you've been in doing airdrops or in DeFi for a while, you know how quickly this space moves. Of course, we push out these videos daily and we give the most updated information possible. But between recording and actually video going live, sometimes 6, 12, even 18 hours can pass, in which time the opportunity might already be gone. For example, in these announcements, we have just said this thing about Infinex, but by the time you're watching this video, maybe the first 24 hours is already past. So this is the importance of private communities. If you're in crypto, you just want to capitalize on this bull market properly, which we probably still have between 3 to 9, maybe even 12 months of activity. You definitely want to be around people who are doing this as a full-time career, full-time job, where you really want to extract the maximum amount of value for the time you give to this whole space. We have created our Discord exactly for this reason 2 years ago now, and it has been going strong, and we are providing a lot of alpha in real time for our people, our users, both not just for all the airdrop alpha regarding tokens and everything, all the airdrop claims, but also for Meteora, for AI agents, for a lot of really hypey narratives that can make you the most amount of gains. If this is something that you want to be a part of, we can simply go to our website, go to the subscriptions tab, and you can choose a plan for you, whether it's monthly or yearly, of course, alongside the accompanying application, which can help you keep organized. And finally, if you want to diversify your passive income streams, we also have an NFT collection, which is generating you 10% passive income every month on the current value of ETH at the moment of purchase. So if ETH is 3.3K now, we're generating $33 every month passively through our program. Now, let's continue with some airdrop claims regarding Solana ecosystem. First and foremost, we have current protocol. They have rewarded people who have used Solana DeFi such as Jito, Jupiter, and many others. Of course, if you also hold some premier NFT collection on Solana, you also qualify. So make sure to check your allocations on their official website. Next up, we have news from the Steady Teddies. So this was the whitelist for Jumper. It is actually now the results are in, and you can see that there's been a couple winners. Make sure that if you have secured your spot, to check if your wallet actually won the selection. And lastly, we have for Eclipse. Eclipse, finally, you don't have to just tap to earn grass tokens. Now, even just holding assets on Eclipse by bridging to this new chain, then you will already qualify for their potential future airdrop, because you're already generating grass from this turbo tap thing by just having assets on Eclipse, which is very bullish. And just a quick tip for when projects don't announce the winners on top of the page, if you're looking to manually find your address, you can always press Ctrl+F, and then you copy paste your address to re-verify that you've actually entered in this raffle. And then sometimes projects don't announce the winners like that, but they will announce it in a huge Excel spreadsheet. So Ctrl+F will save you maybe even hours of searching on your own. Next up, we have news from Sonium, and of course this has finally went live, and you can actually do stuff there already. So this is the Sony layer 2. If you believe that they're going to do some kind of airdrop or incentives for their users, which is at this moment purely speculative, you can simply bridge over to their blockchain, unfortunately using a super bridge route, which might qualify you for future Optimism airdrops, but using the super bridge route, you can only do so from Ethereum to Sonium. However, of course, relay.link to the rescue. This is probably my go-to bridge when I need to bridge from anywhere to anything. There is a high likelihood that relay got me covered. Now, for example, I took this route, which is like B3. I have no clue what B3 is. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments below, just to see if this route is possible. And yes, it is actually possible to send from this something to Sonium. So yeah, if you need specific routes from any chain to any chain, Relay has proven to be amazing. And spoiler alert, they don't have a token as well. So even though I'm not really farming it like a tokenless project like many other dexes, if I need to send from anything to anywhere, relay is just spectacular. And what you can do with your assets on Sonium, you can mint this Genesis NFT, which is currently going live from January 15th. You have until the end of January, something like that, to mint this. So make sure to actually do something with your bridged assets on the new blockchain. Yeah, so the exact date is February 2nd when it ends, and it costs 0.005 ETH, so about $1.50. So make sure not to just send a couple cents. It's always recommended to bridge a certain amount of assets, just so you are actually verified as a non-Sybil. And another thing, it is actually very good to actually have Ethereum mainnet transactions, because this is another anti-Sybil proof that your wallet is actually spending gas on Ethereum mainnet. And another update is from Plume Foundation. This is incredibly important and time sensitive because you only have a couple days until January 18th, 5 p.m. UTC, to qualify and register for this airdrop. If you've been doing stuff on Plume Network, you have very time sensitive information to actually do this, because it is not just for people who are interacting on Plume testnet, but this is also for Polymarket users, holders of Ondo, World Liberty Financial, AXBT, and select users who have been using stuff like Dinari, Swarmax, and other airdrops. So I will leave, of course, the link to this specific blog post in the description of the video, but this is very important that you do this before January 18th. And to wrap up, we have some news from PerpDex Avantis. Their season 1 has actually finished a while ago, December 12. It kind of flew under the radar, but they recently just announced that the season 2 experience accumulation has actually started since that date. Now, personally, I've been mostly focused on Hyperliquid Season 2, Rhea, and of course GRVT. After Hyperliquid Airdrop, I've become very, very selective with PerpDex farming. But if you're still bullish on Base, if you're still bullish on Avantis, this is something to take notice. Now, of course, the real question, when? When airdrop? So they've said that, okay, sure, we want to build out a quality product. We don't want to rush the token. Fine, but for this one, we still have to be slightly more patient. You can, of course, check your current experience for Season 1 and Season 2 in their rewards dashboard. And the reason why GRVT might be one of the better airdrop cooks for PerpDexes is because they actually require you to do KYC in order to trade on the platform, which is, of course, kind of bad. But on the other side, it's not going to be Sybil. It is actually going to be maybe better airdrop than we expect. And most importantly, their mainnet alpha is live from December 20th, but they have recently just added new pairs. Before you could only trade Bitcoin and ETH, and now they've also added ZK, Sol, BNB, and some other pairs. So you can actually get a much, much better trading experience. And that is a wrap for all the alpha news and updates for today. If you find the content valuable, we would appreciate liking and subscribing with bell notifications on. For any questions or comments, I'm waiting for you in the comment section below or in our Discord. And if you want to take your airdrop hunting game and crypto in general to the next level, we're also waiting for you in our Discord. Thanks for watching. Till next time, have an amazing day.